Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and I'm going to share with you a corner tuck spot idea. It's not new, it's just something that is kind of fun to do. I make up kits whenever I'm working on junk journals, and I put all of the pieces in there. And currently I'm working on the Fairy Garden by Calico Collage, and I've picked out a couple of elements out of that kit to make a pocket. So the first thing that I've got is I've got some of the images from Calico Collage. I just kind of quickly cut out a little fairy and then the words "Don't Stop Believing." And then I grabbed a page out of the dictionary that I have here. And what I do is I try to figure out what size will fit in my journal. So if you measure your page, you don't want to go beyond that. So in my case, it was about 5 inches. So I took my dictionary page and I trimmed it down into a 5-inch square. And then I folded it over diagonally. So now I have a corner piece, if you will. And then I use some glue to glue that down. I've got some distress ink here. It is Vintage Photo and a blending tool. And so the next thing I'll do is just spend a moment going around the edges of this, adding a little color. I've got my spray box here, and I've got walnut gold, which has a real pretty gold to it, kind of a black flake as well, so it makes it a little bit darker. And I'm just going to spritz it on here, and that's just going to help give us that vintagey look without coffee or tea dyeing. So see that nice look? I'll dry it with my heat tool and then I'll move on. I'm just adding a little bit more color to it. Sometimes when you spray it with Tattered Angel, it kind of washes it out. Next, I've got this doily, and what I'm going to do is cut it in half. And what I like to do is just match it up and fold it over, and then that'll give me the mark to cut it. So I've got a piece cut here already. And I'm just going to use my blending tool again, go around the edges. You can also lay it down and really pounce on top of it. I sometimes just use a piece of old chipboard. That way I can move it out of the way and I don't have to worry about cleaning up my surface. And then I've got the fairy and the word. So when I cut this out, it looks like I left a little bit of a white space. So if I take the distress ink and go right down those edges, it covers up that white. Helps blend the colors and gives it a more defined edge. Next, I'm going to go around this little fairy image that's from Calico Collage, Fairy Garden. Now let's start assembling this. Well, with a doily, it is very thin, and if you put wet glues on it, a lot of times it will just bleed right through. Well, I've got some Aleene's clear tacky glue, and I have the fine tip nozzle from Scrap Perfect on here. The writing tip, excuse me, the Scrap Perfect writing tip. And what I found is once you get the glue, I didn't have it upside down, so to the edge, so there's a little bitty drop that I can put, just little bitty drops all the way around the perimeter of this. And because I'm not using a whole lot, it won't buckle up the paper. So I'll just lay this on here. And then I'm going to do the same with the fairy. I'm just going to use this little fine writing tip because this is on a thinner paper. It's not cardstock, and I don't want my paper to buckle and warp. And then I'll place her. I'm placing her just so that she's below the edge here. Has that doily as a background. And then we'll do the words. And that's it. I quickly went in there and added my little elements on here. I've used some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist, some Distress ink, the Calico Collage image, and the Scrap Perfects tip along with the tacky glue, and now I have the perfect little corner that I can then adhere. And how I do it, again, using a small amount of glue, I'll just put a bead all along these two sides and then paste that down, and then I'll be able to use this as a tuck spot to put things behind. I hope you liked this little quick tutorial of just think differently about the materials you put together and at the same time have fun with it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so today. Use the comment box below to leave me any messages or questions that you may have. Check out the description box for links to the products that I used here today, as well as my blog posts, as well as my Facebook groups, and how to connect with me on social media. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. Have a fabulous day. Bye.